Albert Einstein, one of the great minds of modern times, was known to have said, "I fear the day that technology surpasses our human interaction." In April of last year, the social media giant Facebook revealed in their Form SR1 report that they expected to have over 1 billion users by year's end. The same report revealed that the 901 million currently registered users sent 3 million photos and a staggering 3.2 billion messages every day. I fear the day that technology surpasses our human interaction. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I fear that day has already come. We are to the point that social media and instant communication have accumulatively become our primary form of communication. I stand before you today convinced that such technologically based forms of communication do not connect, but rather isolate us from the ones we love. Today I will address the problem, the cause, and the effect of social media upon our relationships. My sources come from the magazine Psychology Today, from several published reports on the effects of social media, and from my own experience. Now, to address the problem at the outset, I'm going to pose several questions to the audience that I'm going to have you answer to yourselves. Here are the questions. Have you ever texted something to someone because you thought it would be too awkward or perhaps too embarrassing to tell them in person? Have you ever viewed someone's Facebook profile and then made a judgment on that person's character before ever having met or even talked to that individual? Have you gone out to dinner at a restaurant and sat down at your table and then looked across to a table near yours to see a couple with their phones out, texting rather than talking to one another? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you answered yes to any of these questions, then you have witnessed a situation in which social media has impaired a potential relationship. Now, you may be asking, well, what is the big difference between traditional communication and this instant communication or social media? Well, one prominent study by Alfred Arabian attributes the difference to the fact that 55% of all of our communication comes from our body language, the way we stand, our eye contact, things like that. A further 38%, the report says, of all communication comes from our tone of voice. Are we happy or sad? Are we stern or relaxed? Meaning that only 7%, a lousy 7% of all communication comes from the actual words we say. This implies that any time we text or tweet or message on Facebook, we are being robbed of 93% of our communicative abilities. Now, despite these numbers, it is at times still possible to feel that we are connecting with people whenever we comment on their photo or lol at their most recent post. In fact, in the world of Facebook, liking your friend's status is the same as giving them your vote of approval. And nothing says "I love you" quite like a good old-fashioned Facebook poke. But the reality is that we are not connecting so much with these individuals as we are with the insignificant details of their lives. One glance at your friend's page reveals a date of birth, a hometown, a favorite book, and a relationship status. But what is said about the character of that individual? Oh, so little is revealed about aspirations, desires, and dreams. As explained in the magazine Psychology Today, Facebook, Twitter, and texting could be considered the McDonald's, the Burger King, and the Wendy's of the communication world. For just like fast food, social media is fast, it's easy, and it's always convenient for us. But just like fast food, social media is cheap communication. It is generic communication. And far too often, it is unhealthy communication. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not suggesting that we should throw away our phones, throw away our laptops, and revert back to carrier pigeons and smoke signals. Technology is a gift that should supplement our communication. I fear, however, that far too often technology does not supplement, but replaces communication to such an extent that our real lives and our cyber lives can become entirely separate entities. To quote the popular song by Brad Paisley, "I'm so much cooler online," I can truly be a sci-fi fanatic and mild asthmatic, but then go online and become a black belt in karate who drives a Maserati. As a result, self-identity is lost and personality is destroyed. Now, today I have touched slightly on some of the downfalls to social media. I implore you to consider the effects that social media is having on the relationships which you hold dear. For I remain convinced that each time we update, we isolate. Sometimes when we text, we lose the context. Whenever we're tweeting, the friendships are fleeting. But when we're together, communication is better.